But in deaf school, the communication is smooth.
Yeah. And again, for my experience, in hearing schools, it takes a lot of time for me to really, when I'm trying to listen, it takes a lot of effort. And then if I don't understand, I have to have them repeat it. And with a deaf school, you're signing, I get it right away. It doesn't require a lot of extra effort because I get it very, very quickly. When I was in mainstream school before with an interpreter, a lot of times, it wasn't smooth. Sometimes the interpreter would jump to another topic and they missed stuff and there was a lot of confusion.
In the mainstream school, the interpreter typically would misunderstand something or be off topic, and they would be speaking fast and being deaf, I would misunderstand things, or they would jump ahead. It wasn't like a smooth process, fluid. So as soon as I went to deaf school, it was perfect. I would get things right on homework, and in mainstream school, my homework, I never got things right because of my deafness.
Well, I started in a mainstream setting, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to communicate with the teacher because you have to go through an interpreter, and so it's just a lot better when it's direct communication. The teacher knows how to sign. The teacher knows how to communicate with me. Everything is smoother. There's so many fewer misunderstandings. I don't have to ask them to repeat themselves a lot. I feel a lot more comfortable. It's a better match, it's a better fit. And with the deaf teachers, I understand easy with them. I feel comfortable asking questions. I don't, sometimes they might have to repeat themselves a little to make it more clear, but I feel like I'm learning a lot better. And so I think that really is the key to communication, is having deaf teachers. And in the hearing school, yeah, I can hear, but I don't understand everything all the time. But with the deaf school, I understand a lot better. I pick everything up faster. It's just a lot better. And in my experience, because I was mainstream in high school for 3 weeks, and I wasn't getting anything. Everything was going on in my head, and I would say, the interpreter was cool, but it's like, sometimes they're too fast. It's going too fast, and I can't catch on. They can't catch it. And when I moved to FSDB, it was so different. It was so different. I understood everything a lot better. Communication was smooth.
Do we have another question? In the purple shirt.
If your parents and siblings are hearing, what is communication like during large family gatherings like holidays or weddings?
I have a brother, he's very playful. He can sign pretty good. Like if Christmas Day, or he'll help me to understand what's going on with storytelling at Christmas and everything. That's a good question, and most of the time with the deaf family or hearing families, it has an impact on deaf life, having a hearing family if you're deaf. Because when you're the only one deaf in a hearing family, you tend to be left out. And my experience, At Christmas time, I feel, at big parties, no one talks to me. They're all talking about their experiences and I just look at them. Or during Thanksgiving dinner, most of the time I just look around, everybody's talking. And I just sit there, stay quiet and eat my food. Have some turkey. It's usually delicious. That's it. Well, my family during, if we have hearing family members, if I don't understand, I'll ask my brother who's hearing and I'll ask him what they say and he'll explain everything. He usually interprets for me and speaks for me, so he's good like that. I have 3 brothers, and sometimes if I have my hearing aids off, I ask what to my one brother, and my one brother will sign some for me, and I can read his lips. And but most of the time, I speak all the time. One time I went to my cousin's wedding. I had no idea what was going on. So I looked at my mom and I was like, I feel lost, what do I do? So I tried to find someone and talk with them, and then I just hung out with them the whole time. My experience, my whole family, next to my immediate family, my extended family, my immediate family is deaf, but the extended family are all hearing. So they all speak Spanish, but I understand a little bit of Spanish, but I don't completely understand it. So I'll ask my dad to help me, or to ask what did they say, he'll interpret, or, speak English for me so I can understand. And then I try to speak Spanish, or he'll transliterate for me. Mine's very different with my brother and sister and my dad. With my brother and sister, without my dad being there, in the hearing family, my brother will, he signs pretty good, so he'll tell me what's going on. But sometimes he's lazy, and I feel left out, and I don't know what's going on. And I'm deaf, I can't read lips, so I have no oral skills. So, and then with my sister, she'll sign too, but she's always gone, so I'm always left out with the hearing family members. So sometimes they don't like to write back and forth with me, so I just feel left out and isolated, bored. So, because I'm the only one that's deaf, and it's a challenge with hearing family members. But then with my dad, if I'm with my dad and we go to a hearing family event, he'll help me understand clearly what's going on and catch me up to what's going on. So, because my dad can speak, and then he'll interpret for me what they're saying and let me know what's going on. So I like that. But what I really wish for is that the hearing family could all understand my signing, so that we could all communicate, even with body language, something better than writing back and forth, because I don't want to be left out. It's a challenge though, being deaf with a hearing family member is very awkward, and I have a hard time with them. So I hate it.
Does anyone else want to answer that question? We can take another question from the audience. Beth?
I know a lot of you live in dorms, and I'm really curious how you feel about living in a dorm away from your family. What is that like to live in a dorm?
To be honest, I think it's great. During the week, I'm in the dorm, and it is different. I can communicate, I can do whatever I want, and they understand me. It's good because during the week, I want to break and not have to talk every day. So, and then when I go back home, I have to talk the whole weekend, so. In the beginning, when I first moved there, I missed my family a little. I did. But once you get used to it, communication's okay. It's crazy, but I like it. I like my alone time too. It's a peace. and no sound, just the music. But at home, I prefer to stay home than being in a dorm. I like being in a dorm because you can communicate, it's nice, but I can text my mom if something's going on or if I need something, good or bad. But I text my mom. I don't really miss the family unless there's like something's going on and I need my mom, then I want my family. Well, I love the dorm. I do. But I do miss my mom and dad. I miss the fun times we have together, teasing and food. The food smells good. And we go to different places. And, you know, it's okay. I like the socializing with my friends. And the only thing I hate about it is the food. Same here. I guess being deaf, the dorm is, I like the dorm more than the home because of the dorm, it teaches us things and learn about our future, living by rules, deaf life, how to live alone without family. So I feel like the dorm is teaching me, you know, I don't have to use the phone a lot and I focus mostly on socializing with other deaf people and not texting so much. So, but I hate the rules, but I deal with it because I know you have to get used to it for your future with work and family life. So, but sometimes if I'm having a bad situation or there's an argument or whatever with the parents, I need to remove myself, and I think being away from them for a week is enough, and then going home for the weekend so we can forget about it. But I do miss home. You know, I miss the gathering, socializing, and catching up with my mom and dad. I feel like I miss out on a lot, and I'm behind on things, and then they catch me up on weekends. So I like them both. I live in the dorm. I like it because of socializing with my friends, but I prefer I like going back and forth from the dorm to home. I don't see my family much. I feel like I miss out on things. I don't see my brother and the dog, so I like home more than the dorm. The dorm is fun, and I learn things about for my future, like how to live in an apartment.
We can take another question from the audience.
How you social life? The what is good or what is bad?
Did everybody understand? I had a bad experience with the hearing, socializing with hearing people. My first time in the middle school, 6th grade, they were all making fun of my speech and my voice, and it was very uncomfortable. So then I moved at 9th grade to deaf school, and it was very comfortable, and I could communicate with everybody in sign language. My social skills, well, right now, I would say it's okay, but I don't mean to brag, but I'm a pretty funny guy. So a lot of people, I guess, like me. They don't like me, I don't care, but my social skills with hearing people, it's good. 10 out of 10. But with deaf people, it's 8 out of 10. My social skills, when I'm socializing with deaf people or hearing people, they think I'm hearing because I speak a lot. I talk a lot. I'm a chatterbox. I can go on and on and on. And the same thing with deaf people. I can go on and on with my hands too. So I can go back and forth in both worlds, but my preference is deaf because I can communicate comfortably, and even if we sign differently, we learn from each other different signs. With hearing, it's just all verbal. And I mean, I speak, but sometimes I remove myself and walk away. When I was young, I had a bad experience at a hearing school. I was hanging out with some hearing people, but I hate that I had to rely on people that have, or something, interpret for to help me in a social situation. And you're not allowed to have phones, you gotta write back and forth, or use body language, so you misunderstand, so I'm left out. And sometimes the hearing people will help me, but it's not enough. It's a struggle, and I'm patient, but I had to deal with it for 9 years. And so I wasn't really happy in a hearing setting. It's a challenge, but I was very patient and dealt with it. Now I'm at the deaf school at FSDB, and I'm around deaf people all the time. There's more support, communication, I can understand a lot more, and I'm not behind. My ASL skills have caught up because I was in hearing school for 9 years, and my signing skills weren't that great, and I've learned a lot of new signs that are ASL from the kids at the deaf school, so a lot of changes for the better for me, so I feel good, my life is better. Hearing school, public school, I didn't feel like I had a lot of friends. I had very few friends, and then when I went to the deaf school, I have a whole bunch of friends, and made a lot of friends. We talked a lot, and learned a lot of new signs, different sign languages. When I started in 6th grade, I started to meet a lot of people, but they didn't know who I was. The hearing people I didn't care about, but when I told them I was deaf, they'd look at me strangely, and some people would avoid me. But I had the same friends, but I felt different. I felt weird because I'm deaf, so that's how I felt.
Do we have any other questions from the audience?
You're all young adults, and you'll be ready to go out into the world on your own, and I wondered if any of you have any goals for when you finish school.
I want to answer that question. I'd like to answer that. Well, my plan is when I get done with school, I plan to stay in Florida or New York. One of the two, or maybe both. Or maybe California. And the reason being is I want to study medical school. I would like to become a doctor. So I can help people and save lives, and also be independent. My first top priority on the list is to get out of here. And maybe go somewhere in the mountains where it's cold, have cold weather and snow. Maybe snow all the time, I love it. And when I graduate from college, I hope, when I do graduate, I would move and then get a house, a job, and work in the mountains. That's it. When I graduate, I think I'll move to RIT in New York. They don't have anything here in Florida. They only have one in New York, but I hate cold weather, but I need to have the experience because I've never had experience with snow in New York. I don't know, it's a hard choice. I'm decided as to what I want to do. After I graduate high school, I don't know, I might go to college in Texas. In the Southwest College for the Deaf. So I may go to Texas for college, like my dad did. I want to follow his footsteps, or I want to keep my goal of MMA, fighting. I want to train in that. I'd like to do that in my future. One of the my plan is to graduate high school and college, and then I plan to go maybe to USF or SBC